Hello everybody, Andy back with episode 4 of the Indomitus week project. So day 4, it is now a Thursday. I believe it's Thursday already, that's kind of crazy. We are making really good progress on the project. I will just flip it around really quick just so you guys can see where we are at. Sorry for the shaky cam as I do that. Necron's done except for the 2 models that I forgot, but I'll get to those later on. Fleshed hairs in a really good place, flying through them. At the end of the last video I said I would finish off these guys' bases before today's little vlog bit, but unfortunately I didn't get a chance to do them last night. I was building something else. So today I'm going to be working on the eradicators and the banner bearer, and I'm going to leave this captain for the stream tonight. So I'm going to work on him on my Twitch stream this evening, although by the time you're seeing this video the Twitch stream will have ended, so you missed out. So yeah, so far so good. I'm looking forward to getting stuck into doing more of them today. I'm starting a little bit late today. I'm not actually starting late today. My work day started at about 7:30, but I just had a bunch of other stuff to do. Some menial stuff. I had to get a huge package set up and sent off to Tabletop Tactics that accidentally got sent back to me last time, so I had to send it again. So hopefully that gets to those guys in the very near future. I had to check some post. I got a particularly cool order from Proxy War. Sorry for that horrible angle. Proxy War sent me a gigantic baggie of awesome bits and pieces that they 3D printed for me. Even though I already 3D print, sometimes you need a lot of stuff printed. The best thing to do is to get one of these guys to do it for you. I'm going to be doing some work with them in the very near future and showing you guys all about that, so I'm excited to bring you that footage as well. Okay, so like I said, we're in Indomitus Day 4. It's going very well. I'm hoping to have all the miniatures from the entire box set have paint on them by the end of today. So the Necrons, like I said, are done, and all the fleshed hairs will be base coat and washed by the end of today, which will be a huge accomplishment for 3 days of work, which I'm super proud of. I'm going to spend Friday tarting up a few other bits and pieces, kind of showing you guys how to take them to the next level. I think that's what I'm going to do Friday. And then Saturday I have something pretty special planned for you guys, and maybe some reinforcements of fleshed hairs. We'll soon see what we're going to plan out for that, but it should be fun to try and get some stuff done and show you guys the journey. So once again, a huge thank you for everyone for supporting me on the Indomitus week so far. Views have been immense, subscriptions have been immense, and all the lovely comments and likes has also been amazing. So thank you guys so much. Please continue to do so on the rest of the videos. If you are enjoying them, make sure you do the like and the subscribe and all that kind of madness. So okay, let's get into painting some eradicators. And painting the eradicators was it wasn't really any more difficult than painting the assault intercessors. They're fairly simple miniatures. They've obviously got big crazy guns. But other than that, they're fairly simplistic. So the only thing there was more surface area. They were a lot bigger. They're about the size of a Terminator. So painting up 3 of those took about the same amount of time as painting up the 5 assault intercessors. But it went through exactly the same process with the fleshed hairs, red contrast on the armor, and all the other black contrast on all the other parts, lead belcher on the metallic, but you know, the usual. So don't feel like I need to run through the how-to. I did this again with you guys. Once again just wanted to say thank you guys for the continued support on this series. I know I said it at the beginning of the video, but that was filmed at the start of the day, and now this is the end of the day for me recording my voiceover. So yeah, it's been really cool seeing how many people are interested in following along with the series and the continued watching and stuff. I was a little bit nervous at the beginning of this that no one would care to watch a vlog style series, because there's not a lot of value in it. At least for some people. Obviously there's lots of messages with people being inspired and getting involved and painting up their own miniatures and trying to smash through an extra project or two. So that's really cool to see. That's exactly kind of what I wanted to achieve by doing a series like this. I would also love to know if you would be very keen for this to be a more regular thing. So like once a month there could be a project week. So once a month I do a challenge week like this where I try and smash my way through something. I mean, if I'm going by Games Workshop releases, there seems to be about 1 big box game released a month at this stage, whether it be a kill team or a war cry or a launch box or God only knows what else they have in store. So if you're interested to see more of this style series in the future where I focus on one thing, you gotta let me know in the comments. I'm not a mind reader.
I would love to know if it's something that you're interested in. And if it is something you're interested in, what are the game systems that you'd like to see it done for? I would be super curious to know. Because obviously for me, 40k is the backbone of the channel currently. It's got the most support. As soon as I switch over and do something else, like if I decided to do Lord of the Rings Palnor Fields for a week, which would really excite me, and I'm sure the people that stuck around and watched it would enjoy it quite a lot, but it would be a fraction of the numbers who stuck around to watch Indomitus. At least that's how I feel it would go, and the evidence from previous things would tell me is that that's kind of how it would work. But yeah, like I said, I would love to know from your guys' perspective, is that something that would interest you? And if so, what would you like to see? So with all three of the guys all base coated, it was time to throw on a simple shade. And like I did with every single other miniature for this challenge so far, a Nuln oil was placed all over the miniatures. And like I said yesterday, I still don't quite understand how clean this color scheme looks after the shade dries. It really does do something kind of special to them. They look fantastic. I will be hard pressed to go back and spend dozens of hours layering up each and every miniature when they look this good, this easily. So we shall see. Okay guys, I'm going to stick with the format that I was doing yesterday, and I'm going to carry that through into today. So by that I mean I basically did the basic infantry squad before lunch, which is what I've done. I've gotten they're not exactly basic infantry, but the 3 eradicators are now all base coated and washed and ready to get some basing material on them. So I'm going to get a little bit of food now, and when I come back I'm going to tackle the Blade Guard Ancient, which is a semi-complicated-ish model. It shouldn't be too bad, I don't think. It should be a bit of fun to paint, and I can't wait to actually see it all done up. So yeah, that's what I'm going to come back and tackle after lunch. And then yeah, that will only leave kind of 2 miniatures or 1 miniature left to get some color on, which I'm going to do on tonight's stream. So far we're doing not too bad on the old challenge, and I look forward to deciding what I bring to you guys with tomorrow's video, what unit I pick to kind of add a few extra colors to, highlight to, and kind of bring it up to the final standard that I want the whole army to look. So if you have any suggestions out of what in the Indomitus box you want me to bring up to that standard, then please do put in the comments below. It does help me make my decision. So yeah, I shall be back after lunch. Okay, with lunchtime out of the way, it is time to get into some painting on something a little bit more complicated than there was at the beginning of the day. So as you can see, I've got my normal Flesh Tears red contrast, and I'm trying to get in behind all of the kind of cloth and tarp, whatever the hell this thing he's wearing is, to get at the red power armor that is kind of poking through in a few places. It's definitely not an easy thing to do, because I'm going quite light with the material. It's going to be a grey. I've basically doing all of the cloaks and stuff in these army quite grey. It talks about the idea that I don't think Flesh Tears would be gaudy and have big purple or red capes. So I think a grey would kind of suit them down to the ground with the dark muted tones that their army is. The problem with the grey scheme, if I accidentally hit the cloth there with red, the grey isn't going to cover over the top of that very easily, and it's going to cause more work for me down the line. So like I say, I've got a fine pointed brush loaded up with not too much red contrast, and I'm kind of feeding it through all the little gaps in the material, trying to get at his big armor, legs, feet, the arms that are on show. Getting around behind his neck was kind of difficult. The apron thing as well kind of comes up over his gorget, the front of him. So the front of his gorget is material, and the back of his gorget is armor. So I guess it like pins around the front or something. I don't know. It's kind of difficult to tell. I had to pull up a bunch of different images from online to try and get an idea of how it worked. And even still, I'm a little bit confused as to how it goes on. Another thing that is super cool is that when I was looking for the emblems that go on a shoulder pad, as you can see those Flesh Tears 3D printed symbols I put on these miniatures, I found a pre-done Flesh Tears banner that you would print out and replace on a normal Ancient miniature, and I cannot wait to get to that project. I'm just trying to decide whether it should go on a normal Primaris Ancient miniature, or whether I should try and get that you know, the Space Marine Heroes collection miniatures, the Terminators, where there was that crazy Terminator banner bearer. I think it would look so sick on him as well. But I definitely know I'm going to include it in the army. I also need to try and figure out tanks. The problem with Flesh Tears and tanks is that at the devastation of Baal, the kind of last real engagement that we've seen the Flesh Tears involved in, they had absolutely no tanks. None. Their chapter was on the brink of annihilation. Obviously, they have been bolstered by the Primaris, so they should have kind of Primaris tanks. But I'm still not quite sure how many I want, or if I want to go tank heavy or infantry heavy with this particular force. I'm usually one for just trying to cram as many units into an army as possible. Big, expensive tanks, points-wise, that I mean, tend to get left by the wayside, and I used to swap them out for 2 other squads of infantry. I always find they're going to be more useful, even though they tend not to be on the battlefield. It's just a personal thing, I guess. I'm always kind of infantry heavy when I build army lists. So if you guys have any ideas what would be the perfect choice for some vehicles to go alongside with my Flesh Tears, please let me know. Remember, they're of course going to be Blood Angels, successor chapter, so they have access to things like Baal Predators and the like of that as well. Furioso Dreadnoughts. I do feel like it needs a Redemptor Dreadnought, even though I've done 5 already. There's 3 of my Black Templars and 2 other Imperial Fist ones done up. And I thought to myself, okay, that's probably enough Redemptors right now. I probably won't do any more for quite a while. As soon as I start the next army project, really wish I had a Redemptor for this army. So you may see a Redemptor Dreadnought appearing in this army at some point in the near future. Got to try and find some really cool parts to 3D print and put on that as well to make it look more Flesh Terror-y / Blood Angel-y. The banner was obviously the most interesting part of this miniature. And I definitely took my time getting all the base coats on. So for instance, the gold was the first color I went with, because it's basically underneath everything else. So painted up the huge big gold wings, and the crossbar on the banner, the big huge halo and stuff like that. After that, it was onto the silver metallics, which was the kind of haft of the banner, and then all the little coils and pieces of wire that are holding that skeleton onto the actual banner itself. I didn't touch the bone itself. I'm going to use the Nuln Oil to shade that down, so when I come back later on I can just bring a bit of Ushabti bone or any bone color and layer it up from there. But I think the white or the grey seer really and the black wash will be a really good starting point for the bone. There's obviously a couple of other parts on the miniature that need silver, so the pistol on his back and the kind of severed hand holy relic thing in his other hand, the chain and all those kind of bits and pieces need to get done. After that, we threw some Agros Dunes across all of the parchment, and then some of the Sigval Burgundy contrast for all the wax seals, like I did for the rest of the Flesh Terror's force. Once again, keeping that uniformity across an entire army. So far, this Flesh Terror's collection is really starting to get to me. I'm really enjoying how it's looking. I definitely know it's going to be one of the forefront armies going into 10th edition for me. I'm going to try and build up this force very, very soon with some new and exciting units. So stick around for that. Here are the miniatures with all of the base coats applied. So I'm just going to throw a quick Nuln Oil wash across all of him, just like I did with the eradicators this morning. Making sure to get a nice even coat, making sure it doesn't pool in all those recesses of the cloth and just like kind of cover up all the red armor too much. We definitely don't want that to happen. But it does have a really nice effect across the skeleton, as you can see. Looks really, really good. After it dries, I'm going to throw a little bit of texture paste on. Unfortunately, I didn't get a lot of time to do anything with the texture paste because it hadn't dried by the time I needed to edit this video. But I promise you, when I say good morning, this is day 5 of Indomitus. Tomorrow morning, when you see that footage, I will pan across and all the bases will be finished on the Flesh Tears, and it'll look really cool. I promise. And then we got to work on a few other bits, I guess. So, yeah. Thursday has come to a close. That concludes day 4 of the Indomitus week campaign crusade challenge thing. I did indeed achieve what I wanted to for today. I'll flip you around now and show you that. So as you can see, all of the Space Marine miniatures, bar the singular captain, I've got paint on him. He's going to be worked on my Twitch stream, which by the time you see this will have already happened. But other than that, every single other miniature is base coated and washed and ready to be layered up. I promise by the start of tomorrow's vlog, all of these will be finished being based too. They will match the front half and be all done and nice and pretty, and I can't wait to see the force done like that. So this is 4 days work so far, and I'm quite pleased with it, with how it's turning out. You guys seem to enjoy the look at different armies in my cabinets, and that I give you a little kind of behind the scenes stuff as I go. So let's continue with something else. Here's one of my random old favorites, kind of a bizarre army. It is a Deathwatch army, which is what, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 odd Deathwatch miniatures, and every single one of them has a silver arm, a Deathwatch shoulder pad, but then is painted up in their own chapter. So I painted up about 50 chapters of Space Marines, all different. The only duplicates are, there's, funnily enough, 2 Flesh Terrors. There's one in the command squad here, and the Terminator was a Flesh Terror. Other than that, absolutely every single one of them is a different one. Even a few sneaky ones, like I like the Dark Angel, who's technically a Fallen with the Corvus hammers. It's pretty cool. And stuff like that. So, yeah, here's my Deathwatch army. It hasn't seen the field in like 2 or 3 editions now, so yeah, a really rare Space Marine Horse Heresy character as well. Oh well. I'm sure you had a sneak peek on the way up there too. There is quite a bit more to show you, whether it be shells with big monsters or whether it be Tau or a million other things. I'm sure I'll get around to showing you them in the next kind of day or two. And if you keep hounding me, I may show you them in future vlogs. So I hope you guys enjoyed day 4. It was kind of a nice, kind of a more relaxed day than the other few days that I've had. Not quite as stressful. I basically want to take it a little bit easier now. It's like my midweek kind of break day, so that I can have Friday and Saturday to actually get some work done and not be completely dead on my feet. So yeah. If you are enjoying the series, enjoying seeing me killing myself with painting, make sure you give the video a like. I think I deserve a subscription. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, make sure you do that. And if you want to get more content, my Patreons get an extra video every single week and access to a private Discord server. So if you're interested in becoming a Patreon member, there's links to that also below. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to the end of the video. I'll see you tomorrow.